Well, hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are from. I can't tell you how excited I am to be a part of this Education on Air by Google. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about slides and how Google Slides can become your new favorite publishing tool. In fact, I think Google Slides is just my favorite one of the Google tools for presentations and for publications. But we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So thank you so much for joining me. You'll see the link on the main slide here. I give you a link that takes you to this slide deck. Of course, all of these resources are available on the Education on Air site as well. But in case you don't have the link, there it is, bit.ly/edu on air slides. It is case sensitive, but jump in there and you can have access to this slide deck and the resources that I've got linked inside here. And as well, we also have the Q&A. Hopefully you guys will join me over in the Q&A. We'll have some time at the end for you to ask some questions. Hopefully I'll have answers for you. But the link is there if you jump into my slide deck as well. Okay, so a little bit about me. Let's go to this next slide. So this is me. My name is Michelle Armstrong, and I am the director for EdTech Team Canada. I am in Calgary, Alberta, and I work for EdTech Team and look after a lot of our professional development that we do up here in Canada. And if you would like to connect with me or contact me, please don't hesitate to do so. My email, you'll see it there, michelle@edtechteam.com. Grab me on Google+, sharing lots of things on Google+, so connect with me there. And then, of course, on Twitter, Armstrong EdTech. Would love to connect with you there as well. So let's talk a little bit about slides. So this is our agenda here. We're going to talk just basically a little bit about slides, as slides is meant to be as a presentation tool. So kind of our PowerPoint replacement. We're going to just talk very, very briefly about that. We're going to jump out and talk a little about docs and talk about why docs makes things a little difficult, but presentations are going to simplify that using slides. And then, yeah, I'm going to share a whole bunch of resources for you and ideas, and then hopefully we'll have some time at the end where we can do some Q&A and answer any questions that you might have. So that's where we're going with this. Let's start first with presentations. So Google Slides. We know slides used to be called Google Presentations, now called Google Slides, but ultimately has been meant for that presentation tool like PowerPoint. And it's great. It does the transitions, the text animations. It's fantastic. The one thing that, and the only thing I want to talk about for Google Slides when we're talking about presentations, though, is this unbelievable site, Slides Carnival. If you have not yet found yourself at Slides Carnival, you need to absolutely check it out. Slides Carnival is an unbelievable resource of templates, designs, specifically for using Google Slides as presentations. I'm just going to give you a quick example. So you'll see all of these templates, playful, elegant, formal. They're adding new ones all the time. We've got a brand new one here for Christmas. I actually haven't even checked that out yet, so let's jump in and check it out. But every one of Slides Carnival's templates gives you, this great background information about them. You can click through it just to see, hey, do I like this presentation? Do I like the design? If you decide you want to use that design, boom, click on use this presentation template, and it gives you a Google Slides file. You'll notice you only have read-only access to this. That's no problem. All we do, we make a copy of that. So from the file menu, just go ahead and make yourself a copy. And now you've got this version of this gorgeous template that you can use for your presentations. I've got to talk a little bit more about Slides Carnival templates. Yes, they're gorgeous. The graphics are so fun, but these are going to help you and ultimately your students just learn how to create better presentations. So let me just click through here. The template, it starts with kind of an intro slide. Hey, when you're doing a presentation, start with an intro slide. Gives you other tips, quotations, commonly printed as a means of inspiration. So giving you ideas of what to add to your presentation. Maybe you might want to have a bulleted list. Then they go down and they give you some examples of, use big images to describe big concepts. Hey, maybe you want a Venn diagram. Maybe you want some charts. Maybe you want to include a map. But they give you all of these great just template ideas on how you can make great presentations inside Google Slides. They give you those graphs there. These are so fun. They give you little pictures of like phones or computers or tablets, so you could put your images inside there. Just spices up your presentations a little bit. And then at the end of each one of the templates, they include these really cute icons and graphics that you can use throughout your presentation. If we wanted to add some more Santa, we would just copy Santa, paste Santa over here in another one of the slides. Just so much fun, so much content, unbelievably free to use. Highly recommend it. So hopefully, if you have not checked out Slides Carnival, there's one new thing that you have learned today. So that's talking about slides as it's really been designed for as presentation tool. We're going to completely change our thinking about Google Slides. Let me close these down. But what I want to talk about next, I want to change your thinking about slides. They're not just for presentations. They're not just PowerPoints. I would like to say that Google Slides is your replacement for Microsoft Publisher or for Adobe InDesign, if you will. But these are it's your design tool, this place where you can create posters or brochures. Okay, before we jump into talking about that, let's just take a step back and look at Google Docs first. So Google Docs, we're going to just jump in here. We know Google Docs as the Microsoft Word replacement. You can create brochures and pamphlets. They've got really cool templates that help you do that in Microsoft Word. However, Google Docs is kind of a little bit painful when you're working with text and images. For example, you'll see this picture, this doc I've got here. I've got a picture in here. If I want to resize this image, maybe I want to put this image down here in front of, as you can see, I want it to word wrap. I want it to be down below. Okay, so I go to wrap text. Oh, but then it's kind of missing part of it. So then, you get my point. My point is we try to do this. We try to create publications using Microsoft Word, and it just doesn't work. You will pull your hair out trying to fight with these graphics to make them work with text. Don't do it. I always say to teachers, if you, don't make your students create a title page inside Google Docs, unless it's like a punishment for them. Anyway, okay, so Google Docs doesn't really do the design thing, but let's look closer at Google Slides and how, if we change our thinking, Google Slides is now our publication tool, all of the great things we can do. Okay, so here we are. We're going to use Google Slides. I'm going to go into just a brand new Google Slides document, so brand new presentation. Right now it's set up as our PowerPoint. Looks very presentation-like. I'm going to forget all about these themes, close those down. But instead of thinking of this as a presentation, let's do this. File menu, page setup. So it's as simple as just changing the page setup. Here, Google Slides has these presentation modes. Forget those, ignore those. Check out this magic, custom. If we change the page setup, if we change it from custom to 8.5 by 11, boom, we have a piece of paper. This is the same layout as you have in your Google Docs, but this time you've got text boxes that you can move wherever you want. You can resize them however you want. You can change the font size, hello, to whatever you want. Then we can add pictures, insert, image. We can, let's go, I feel like we want to look at some kittens this morning. Aw, isn't he cute? But we can put this image of this kitten wherever we want. If we want this text wrapped over here, we can put it here. Maybe we want to change the color of this text. Maybe we want to change it to white. Oh, let's bold it. We can put it on top of the kitten. Oh, wait, it's not on top of the kitten. Not yet. But we right click on these, we can. So right click on my image. I have order, so I can send this image to the back. There's my text up on the front. The opacity of our images, we could change the background. There's so many things that we can do inside Google Slides that you can't do inside Google Docs, we're going to show you a few ideas of some other things you can do here. Let me show you one more thing. So we've got our Google Slides file. We've got page 1 here. If I just copy this page 1, maybe I copy it down to page 2. Let's now think about the collaborative nature of Google Slides. We can have our students working together. Student 1 is working on slide 1. They're creating their gorgeous pamphlet, their brochure, whatever it is. It's not affecting what student 2 is doing on page 2. So unlike Google Docs, where if you're typing above someone, it's pushing that person down below you, that's not going to happen inside Google Slides. Okay, let's give you some examples of some of the things you can do inside Google Slides. Let me zip over to my Google Drive. Let me do a quick search. Inside my quick search, I'm going to search for anthology. I'm going to give you a whole bunch more ideas of things that you can do in Google Slides. And I do notice I see some great questions coming in on the Q&A. And once I finish showing all of this, we'll stop and I'll definitely get back to answering your questions. So thank you so much, those of you that are putting the questions in there. Okay, so here we are just in my Google Drive. Let's take a look at this anthology sample that I've got here for you. Said to me, I want to create a poetry anthology. I want my students to create their poems, and then in the end, I want to put them together so we have a nice compilation. I said, well, wait a second. To put them together, let's start by creating a blank Google Slides file, and you assign the students. Student 1, you'll work on slide 1. Student 2, you'll work on slide 2, and so on and so on. Look at these gorgeous poems that these students created. So this, you'll see here, these are text boxes. Each of these text boxes is separate. There's some graphics in behind the text boxes. The fonts, let's talk about the fonts. Google has, I forget the number, but I think it's something like 860 different fonts, and that list is growing. So gorgeous. This student chose to create her poem, but she drew her illustrations and she scanned those in, put those behind her text. And then you see some other personalities come through in this poetry here, just a picture in the background, but the font colors, the font styles, the themes, so great. But wait, there's more. So we could leave this as a Google Slides file. We could publish it and just share it digitally, which they did. But what you can also do from the file menu, download this as a PDF document. Once we have a PDF, we send that anywhere. You can send this to a print shop, which the teacher did, send it out, print it out, full color, bound booklet. So each of these students had a hard copy bound poetry anthology booklet from their work from that year. Awesome stuff. Okay, let's go back to our untitled presentation. Let's scale back here a little bit. We'll undo our work here. If you saw before, is all just in customizing the page sizes. From the file menu, page setup, 8.5 by 11 is a regular piece of paper. Okay, some people get a little bit tricked up by this. It's like, okay, well, that's like portrait style. What happens if I want like a landscape page? Well, that's easy. 8.5, boom, now we have a landscape page. Now, if we can do 8.5 by 11, 11 by 8.5, what else can we do? Whoops, sorry, file menu, page setup. What if we go like 50 by 8.5? Check it. Banners. Teachers love banners. Same thing, you create your banner. From the file menu, you download that as a PDF, send it to your print shop. Maybe you are lucky and have a large format printer in your school. Print those off. I got to show you another little trick here. So here's my banner. And my banner, we go into our font size. Don't be fooled by the 96 font. The 96 is in the menu. You're thinking that's as big as the font size I can go. Nope, the biggest font size you can go is 400. Let's go. So here's my banner, 400. This is like a 50-inch long banner with a 400 size font. But let me tell you something else. Here's like a super hack. So this is a 50-inch banner, biggest font that Google Slides will give us. But what if I want a 200-inch banner? Well, we can do that. File, page setup. Let's go in and change this to like 200 by, what would that be? I don't know, let's go like 40. So what Google has just done, what Google Slides has just done is resize my banner and my font to 200 inches long. So even though here it says it's only a 400 size font, that's 400 times 4 huge. So this is going to print out. You're not going to lose any of your quality. These are vector graphics inside here. So no matter how huge you blow that up, you want a billboard, you can create a billboard inside Google Slides. Okay. Let's give you some ideas of things that you can create within Google Slides. So poetry anthology, of course. In my presentation, you'll notice that I've created a poster in Google Slides. Let's jump into that. Actually, I think I have it open right here. So this is Google Slides. This is a poster. In fact, this is a gorgeous poster that my colleague Monica Martinez created. But in all honesty, Monica created this in InDesign. She's a gorgeous designer, but I kind of figured, well, we can't have an InDesign poster when I'm telling you how to create posters in Slides. So I went in and I recreated the exact poster she created in InDesign. I put it here into Google Slides. And so what you'll see here, we give you some ideas. So first of all, the magic in custom page sizes, large format signs. So I give you some ideas of some large format signage that you can do. If you've ever been to an EdTech Team Summit, we have these big signs that we use in our photo booth. These are created inside Google Slides. So there's an example of the Coroplast sign or the foam core sign. It's a Google Slides file set up by 22 inches. Save that as a PDF, send it off to the print shop. Boom, you have, and you tell them, yeah, put it on foam core. You have a foam core sign. What else do we have in here? Award certificates. You click on that link and you'll see, give you a number of designs. I used to teach at a wonderful school here in Calgary called Rundle College, private K-12 school. But we did all of our monthly awards were all inside Google Slides. So we had our Athlete of the Month, we had our Band Award. So there's just a couple of designs. And you'll see what I did here. It's an 8.5 by 11 page, but with 2 certificates on the page. So then you just trim it, put it on cardstock. You've got fun little certificates. What else do we do? Oh my gosh, concert tickets. I'm not going to click into all of these for you. You guys can take some time and click in there. But we did concert tickets, athletic tournament posters, so the big, draws for our athletic tournaments, presentation templates. So that's Slides Carnival. Already showed you Slides Carnival. Poetry anthology, I showed you that. Promo posters for our drama productions, all of the posters for the drama productions. Resumes, grad banquet menus. I am going to click on this grad banquet menu just because the students organized the whole graduation, and it was the students that worked together to create the menus. They created the tickets, they created the promo posters, but they came up with kind of their own theme with these great fonts. And it's so great to be able to put that ownership onto our student committees to allow them to create promotional materials or whatever it is. So that I was just really, really proud of them for the design they came up with, and it looks great inside Google Slides. All right, we are going to get over to the Q&A here in just a second. Oh my gosh, you guys, have fun. There's lots of stuff in there. But before I jump over there, let me jump back to my presentation. Have to give a huge, huge shout out to my good friend, Darren Malte. Darren works out of the Black Gold Regional School Division. He creates unbelievable templates using Google Slides. He also does a lot in Google Drawing. So some of you might right now be saying, well, hey, I can do all of that in Google Drawing, can't I? Yeah, actually you can. Google Drawing and Google Slides basically have the same functionality. One difference in your Google Slides is that you can have multiple pages, whereas Google Drawings, you can just have the one. So you'll notice some of these templates that Darren has created, some of them are drawings, some of them are slides, but shout out, send a note to @Mr. Malte, let him know how awesome he is. Let's show you some of the cool stuff he's created. So his link takes you to the Black Gold School District's resource page that he allows us to all use. Now, granted, some of these are not Darren's creations. These are things that he's found online and just putting together in this compilation. But let's go to, I think this National Geographic, like click on this. Oh, okay, that's actually a drawing. I want to jump. I know he's got one National Geographic here that's in slides. That's so amazing. Yeah, check this out. So National Geographic, he's got page 1. He's matched kind of the fonts for National Geographic. These are text boxes here. And then he goes down and he sets up the layout for as if it's actually a National Geographic magazine. Give your students any topic in the world, they can create that National Geographic article and images that go along with that topic. So that's a National Geographic template available in the Black Gold's compilation. But if you look like comic books, he does such great things with creating comic books. Let's jump into that. So he gives you, the fonts are so cool, the speech bubbles. I just can't get over how much great stuff is here. And the other thing, and I don't know if Darren's going to be angry at me for saying this, but when he comes and presents with us, he says to teachers, if you have an idea that you want created, to let him know. He'll create it for you. He loves doing this stuff. So if you have an idea or you need help with something, reach out to @Mr. Malte, reach out to me, and we'll help you get it created. And then ultimately, hopefully you'll be able to add it to Darren's compilation here at Black Gold. So he's got a Scrabble template. He's got book covers, you name it, it's here. It's so amazing. So let's see if I have anything else for you. Oh yes, I have to give a shout out to Jennifer Scott has just gone through our Google Innovator Academy in Mexico. Congratulations, Jennifer, if you're listening. Jennifer came to one of my presentations a couple of years ago. Her students had created their entire yearbook in Google Docs. Let me say that one more time, because some of you guys are like just going, oh, what? Yeah, their entire yearbook was created using Google Docs. So they used tables. It was unbelievable. It was a gorgeous yearbook. But then she heard me say, oh my gosh, you could do that all in Google Slides. And yeah, just about fell on the floor. That was a couple of years ago. This last year, her students, their 8th grade students, they produced their entire school yearbook using Google Slides. She has now created templates that she's sharing with other teachers. They had that yearbook printed, bound, full color. I believe it's like $8.31 a yearbook. All of her information is on her website, bit.ly/slides yearbook. Another great example of how you can use Google Slides collaboratively for publications in your schools. Last thing I'll mention here, if you are interested in doing more with slides, EdTech Team does offer EdTech Team U. We have a 15-hour self-paced slides course. So you can take it at your own time, at your own leisure, but that link there will get you into our EdTech Team online courses, one of which is Google Slides. Highly recommend it. It's got some really great ideas. So with that, that brings me to our Q&A. So let me just pop over to our Q&A, which I don't actually have open on this computer. I have like 3 computers open beside me. I've got the Q&A on one of my other ones. Let's just jump on this link here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Slides Carnival, huge takeaway. Awesome, Linda. Thank you for that. Oh, best session of the day so far. Thanks, Linda. So awesome resources from Darren Malte, of course. So yes, definitely check out Darren's resources at Black Gold, changing the slide dimensions. So it's just custom page sizes. No way. I was just going to ask the questions about changing. Oh, fun. Hey, Sandra. Glad to have you here too, Sandra. Awesome resources. My enthusiasm. Yes, I did have a cup of coffee beforehand, so that helped. Hey, Fort St. John, you guys rock. Hope to come up and see you guys up there. Okay, so it doesn't, okay, here we actually have a question. How can you double underline text in Google Slides? I stopped using this program. Oh, where did that go? For grammar, because I couldn't figure this out. So the double underline, let's just take a look at that. Let me go to this here. So I'm going to say maybe this is a little clunky, maybe not. But so you want to underline. Let's say we've got this underlined. I'll do the actual real underline. So there's the underline. Then a hack, I would say, if we wanted another underline, we're going to create another line. And I want to tell you a couple of things that I'm doing right here. So right here, I'm holding down the shift button. So if I don't hold down the shift button, line, but as soon as I hold down shift, that cannot be, like right now I'm dragging my mouse down, but it will not drag that line down. It is going to force an absolute straight line by holding down shift. So I can go in and maybe I'll do like, well, let's see how big that line has to be to match. Ooh, because this is my huge poster. But let's say there's your 24-point line. If I wasn't, remember this was the file that I increased in dimensions. This is like our 200-inch file. So my line is a little bit thin. But you would obviously match the line style. But I want to show you one more thing. So whenever we're working with graphics, let's say I want to move this line and I kind of want it to be like right underneath. And it's like, oh, I'm trying to move it, but it just doesn't line up properly. Another trick is holding shift while you're moving your objects. I'm going to actually use this letter S as just a little different example. It will maybe make a bit more sense to you. Okay. So let's just say that I wanted to line up my red letter S. I wanted to line that up right with my other letter S. So right now I'm like, and I kind of get it over here and it's not quite lined up. I use my arrows and it's still not quite lining up. If you hold down your shift key, so right now I'm holding down shift, I'm moving my arrow keys, that's going to cinch those items over 1 pixel at a time. So if you're ever finding, you move up and it's like, oh, that's too far. You move down, oh, that's too far. Just hold down shift and then you can cinch that in and line that up directly. So that might help with just lining things up. That double underline, yeah, kind of clunky, but that would be my answer to how to do that. Oh no, it's so blurry. I don't think there's any way I can make it more clear. I'm not sure why it's blurry, but I apologize for that, Matthew. Nigeria, welcome. So glad. When will slides get audio annotations? I don't know. I'm going to hope that maybe that's coming just for anybody who's like in the geeky programming side. Slides has opened up their API, meaning that people can now code things and cool add-ons and things I think we're going to start to see coming into Google Slides. So hopefully you will see something like that coming soon. Or thank you, Kim, for the Screencastify suggestion. That's a great suggestion as well. I don't know if there's anything here that I missed. National Geographic Magazine, Leslie, awesome. Definitely use that. Again, shout out to Darren Malte for putting that on his site. Created it himself or someone else did. You know, huge shout out to whoever created that. We love it. Oh, so Louise, can you have different page setups for each slide? So could I do 8.5 by 11 for page 1? And 11 by 8.5 for page 2? The answer is no. Unfortunately, all of your pages have to be that same page size, the page layout. So your only solution would be to use a different slides file for that. So that answers that. So you can click on the settings icon and change it to HD 720. So hopefully, is that on your end that you guys do that? If that was something I missed on my end, I apologize. But thank you guys so much for being here. We are just with 1 minute left. And I think, Trace, thanks. Glad to hear, Trace. If there were any other questions, I'm going to go through the Q&A file there, and I will go in and answer your questions via text as well, so you have the answers there. If you do have more questions, don't hesitate to keep them coming. I'm happy to answer those for you. And if you do want to reach out and connect with me, there's my contact info again. I definitely will respond to you if you reach out to me, and I'll send you any resources I have. Absolutely love slides, and hope that I've given you guys some tips for you loving slides too. So thanks so much for being here.